Hi, this is Girl Mora again, and this is the second video. Um, Theories of addiction, like threads in a tapestry. We weave together their biological, their psychological, social, cultural factors to create a complex and captivating picture of how individuals become entangled in the grips of substance abuse and mental health, which again a lot of times goes hand in hand. Um, the intricate web of understanding being spun over decades of research, clinical observations, and involving societal perspectives are, how we unravel what the needs of the patient are and how can we help them. Um, and move this over. Um, uh, it also affects families, communities, and can cause a lot of problems with relationships and children and the loss of children and trying to get them back. And that's like one of our goals as counselors is to help them get them back and in a healthy environment, if that's something that can be done. Um, the importance of understanding addiction theories is why should we care about the theories? Um, the theories is what helps them understand their problems, uh, lack of skills, lack of understanding self. Um, and it's our job to help them, try and, get to that point. And again, not everybody is ready, but you keep trying. I always keep trying. It wasn't always this way. It was not a distance past. Addiction was often viewed through a narrow lens of moral failing and simple lack of willpower. That is not the case today. The case today is, gosh, so much more complicated. And it's important for us to, this light is driving me crazy. Um, it's important for us to be able to help them maneuver through all of the life skills, new skills, different ways to self regulate, not get angry, not act out with their significant others or with their family members. It's like trying to understand a sympathy, but only listening to one instrument. As our understanding has evolved, so too has our approach and treatment and expectations. The impact of these theories treatment approaches cannot be overstated. They've transformed addiction care from one size fits all model to a nuanced, individualized approach. We have to treat them as individuals and not just like for the assessment or for the treatment plan or for whatever their needs might be. We have to be able to individualize their treatment. One of the key players in the biological drama is genetic predisposition. Some folks have to be born with a loaded gun. There's genetics, that's biological. It's sometimes passed down from family member to family member. It's not that they're destined for addiction, but rather that the genetic makeup might make it more susceptible, which is unfortunate. And I've experienced that. Um, and I got clean 40 years ago and have been doing this ever since. And I happen to understand that there is a way to get better. Um, that doesn't mean it's easy. That doesn't mean that the work is hard. It means that there's a lot to do. Um, One of the key players in the biological drama is genetic predisposition. Some folks seem to be born with a loaded gun. When it comes to addiction, it's not that they're destined for addiction, but rather that genetic makeup might make them more susceptible. Think of it as a family history and a bad dance moves. You're not guaranteed to embarrass yourself on the dance floor. Addiction Gene, exploring the genetics basis of substance abuse, delves deeper into the fascination area of research. While there's no single addiction gene, scientists have identified several genetic variations that will increase vulnerability and substance abuse. But genetics is just the beginning. Um, Environmental, the people you hang around with, the people that really trying to get away from this light. I probably should have turned it off. Um, so I think that it's really important to look at all aspects of where somebody comes from, their environment, their family upbringing, their relationships with other people, self regulating their emotions, and being able to move forward in a healthy lifestyle. Um, Dopamine, the rock of the neurotransmitters, takes center stage in addiction's neurobiological construct. It's a brain's way of saying, woohoo, that felt good. And so when it feels good, we keep doing it because it feels good. And that's the problem with addiction, because people take a certain type of drug and oh my god, it feels so good, and you can function and you feel good, and it's very difficult. I experienced that myself many years ago. And I think in today's world it has changed a lot. And let's venture into the labyrinth of the minor psychological theories of addiction. These theories explore our thoughts, emotions, behaviors, intertwined to create a perfect storm for addiction, unfortunately. The cognitive behavioral theory is like a detection story where the culprit is not only the thoughts and behaviors, it suggests addiction is learned behavior. It is a learned behavior. I have always believed that so many things that come from addiction are learned behaviors. We were not born like that. We were not born addicts. We were not born to have bad behavior. We were not born to hurt people. We were not born to have destroyed relationships. Those are learned behaviors, which means they can be unlearned, which is not an easy task. Um, the psychodynamic theory, on the other hand, is like a dig into subconscious, which conflicts with traumas buried deep in the psyche, as if we were to fill a substance with behaviors, but void actually a black hole that just keeps growing. I, for example, have a lot of trauma. Um, and I have been doing EMDR for God, about 6 months now, and it has changed my life. It has definitely changed my life. So, kind trying to get people to do different types of therapy is not such an easy task, and a lot of people don't understand EMDR. They think of it as like a cult, and we're being brainwashed, and we're doing this and we're doing that, and that's not the case, because I've come a very long way with EMDR. Social culture theories, the world around us, again, it's the environment that is, can be very detrimental to who we become. Like, there's a lot of rural areas here in the tri-state, and people don't have transportation. They aren't able to get to their appointments. And I can't tell you how many times that, like, we've called out medication because they just can't get there. The snow, the rain, it's kind of sad. Family systems theory zooms in on the family unit, which is really important because the family unit has just about everything to do with everything. Suggesting that addiction doesn't just affect individuals, but entire family dynamics. Everybody suffers. When the identified person is an addict, the entire family suffers. Culture and environmental influences on addiction are like air we breathe, often invisible, but profoundly impactful. From society attitudes towards substance abuse and availability of drugs in community, these factors can shape people, who they are, and it's very unfortunate. There are life stages, the developmental model of addiction, which is through the lens of the life stages. I really like the life stages because it helps to educate and to help people understand, what has been happening through their life. Addiction and generation patterns, exploring skipping a generation theory. I don't know how much I believe that. Like, genetics are genetics. Biological is biological. So following your parents' footsteps is a very common thing in the tri-state, and it's completely unfortunate. Integrating, putting the pieces together. And another understanding of addiction is grown, so that you too recognize that signal theory fully explain the complex of the phenomenon. Enter the integrative models, which attempt to weave through various stands against theory and addiction. There are a lot of models. There are, there's a bigger picture, implications, future directions, not following your family's footsteps, father, mother, brother, sister, and it becomes very difficult. It's not something that is easily done. Intelligence and addiction, exploring the complex interplay, offers get integrated, looking at how cognitive factors might affect influence, risk, and recovery, reminding us that we are always more to learn about the complex issue. What I have found through the years is that if you have a greater intelligence, it's going to be harder for you to be clean, because you're going to pick everything apart. You're going to analyze everything, and it causes more problems than if somebody was just, hey, I want to get clean. What do I do? And I think that there's a lot of ways to get through all of this. Again, it depends on trying to get away from this light. Okay. Nope. So I think that it's important for us to understand as clinicians, as counselors, that anything can happen from family, environment, social stability. It's a hard thing to do. And I've been doing this for a very long time. I don't test well, as you can see, but I am very good at what I do, and my patients do very well. And that's something I'm very proud of. And I think a lot of it has to do with my history, because I too was there at one time, and I'm able to help people get through different things. And I've gotten really good at addressing people that are suicidal. Um, it's a lot. It's sad. And they say, leave your work at work and don't take it home. That's not real. That is not even a real thing. You take it home and you feel bad. And maybe that's because of my history, but it does definitely take a toll. And that is why I have recently retired, because I've been doing this for 35 years. Um, and I was very burnt out. And now I'm going to be working with horses, doing life skills with people, EAL. And I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks.